On NewsHour tonight, APP wins 22 out of 23 chairmanship positions as polls hold without police security. Hoodlums set Electoral Commission office ablaze in Akwa Ibom. Bandits kill 6 security operatives in Katsina attack. The foreigners and Tunisians rally against President Said ahead of October 6 elections. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's News Hour. I am Chiamaka Nwafo. The news. Despite threats and some political parties saying they are not taking part in the local government election in Rivers State, voters came out to exercise their civic responsibility across polling units in the state. Here's the report.
At Obia, Akpo Ward 1, Unit 40, the caretaker chairman, Chijioke Ihunwo, cast his vote alongside many residents in the area. He commended the electioneering process while urging the people of Rivers State to defend their vote.
The election is moving on smoothly. I've just casted my vote, so other people also cast their vote for the candidate they want to be voted for. So I want to employ our people to remain calm and let us do the right thing, because what we're doing is the right thing. We're not doing what is not right. So I want to assure people that they should go about and vote for the candidate of their choice and ensure that they do the right thing.
The chairman of the APC in Rivers State, Emeka Beke, who spoke after casting his ballot at Rumo Okwasi Hall, Ward 3, Unit 4, Ilibrada community in Umuahia local government area of Rivers State, says the election was well coordinated.
Election is going on very, you can see the atmosphere is very calm and peaceful. Nobody is doing anything, no security, but the election is really calm because this election that will decide the people of the grassroots in the locality, you understand? We have 3 tiers of government, and these are the most important election that will touch the life and the people of the local government. And today this election is going over, there is no crisis.
Beke condemned the burning of Chief Tony Okocha's factional office of the APC. The caretaker chairman, Chijioke Ihunwo, also urged the people of Rivers State to disregard the call by some opposition members who failed to participate in the local council elections on the assumption that there were no elections in Rivers State.
Let me also say that it is quite unfortunate that the Nigerian police force led by the Inspector General of Police have reduced itself to be used by Chief Barisayi Sobese-Wiki, the FCT minister. Is quite unfortunate, and Rivers people are watching that Wiki has reduced himself to want to even be the president of this country. We have a president, for God's sake. Wiki cannot be in Abuja and governor. We can't have 2 governors in our state. We don't have a governor. We voted. Wiki has done his tenure for 8 years. He has never to this tenure. What he's doing is just because this is the structure. He's carrying for the structure. We apologize the structure for him. This is the structure of Rivers. This is the grassroots. People Rivers have rejected Wiki. What they are doing is just protest. Also remember when Atiku and others did protest. If you are calling them SUG president, today Wiki has led men of integrity on the street of Atako to start protesting. So let me say that what goes around comes around. So whatever you do will come back for you. What Wiki did to Rotimi Amechi is what is happening to him now. So nobody should be afraid.
I just saw something that is trying to system. If there's anybody who knows me that I'm not that kind of character. The 2 parties secretary has been on and nobody has been able to destroy anyone. I don't think anybody who has done that, I totally condemn that. It's not in my character, and I would never get involved in such thing because I don't believe in that. That is not the best way to go about something. If you have an issue, the court is the place that you go to sort out your problem.
Protests have rocked parts of Rivers State following the conduct of Saturday's elections as outcomes begin to trickle in.
Meanwhile, the Action People's Party APP has won 22 chairmanship positions out of 23 in the just concluded local government elections in Rivers State. The Chief Election Officer of the Rivers State Independent Electoral Commission, Adolphus Enebeli, declared the results on Saturday in Port Harcourt. RSEC, however, suspended the declaration of results for Echa local government area because collation was still ongoing. Enebeli said results for Echa local government area will be declared alongside that of the 319 councillorship states at a later date. Joining us via phone call to discuss more is Victor Dozier, who's giving us an update from Rivers State capital, Port Harcourt. Good evening, Victor. We'll circle back to that. Good evening, Victor. Okay, Victor, if you can hear me, can you give us an overview of what happened or took place today in Rivers State as regards the elections? Victor, if you can hear me, please can you give us an overview of what took place today as regards the local government elections in Rivers State?
Peaceful, apart from the pockets of violence that took place in Port Harcourt City local government area and some part of Obiakpo local government. In Port Harcourt City local government here, where the APC office led by Tony Okocha was thrown with an explosive suspected to be dynamite. That was exactly what happened at Port Harcourt City. Then at Obiakpo, there were shooting shortly after the electoral material were distributed. Some thugs who were armed started shooting and dispersed people from there. Then there was another incident at Elakahia polling unit where some policemen came, fire shots of tear gas and dispersed all the electorates who have gathered to perform their civic responsibility. They shot on the air, shot several tear gas that scared people away, and at that point they scattered away some electoral materials. That's exactly what happened. Then few minutes ago, the election results for 23 local government areas were announced by the State Electoral Commissioner, Justice Adolphus Enebile, retired. Out of the 22 local government areas that was announced, APP, All People's Congress, or APP, cleared the 22 local government areas. Then the remaining local government, which is a chair local government, the election there is inconclusive. RISEC said that the results will be announced together with the result of 319 words of that made the 23 local government area in a later date.
All right, Victor, what exactly happened at the Eche local government area to warrant this action to be taken?
Well, I don't actually know what exactly happened. No explanation was given for the suspension of the announcement of the result. But the RISEC chairman, Justice Adolphus Enebile, retired, said that he said that the results, the election there was inconclusive, and the results will not be announced. The result will not be announced. The announcement of the result will come later with the result of the 119 votes. He said that the elections there are yet to be concluded.
Okay.
So when the election is concluded, that of a chair will be announced with the 90, because the result of the 319 words have not been announced, so they will come together with the result of a chair local government.
Okay, so now the ruling party APC, how are they reacting to this whole situation?
Well, we've not got any official statement from APC concerning the results announced so far. But from day one, APC said that they will not participate in the election. They said they will not participate in the election, so that whatever thing that happened today in the norm for conducting a local government election is a charade. So from the one they said that they will not participate in the election, and they did not participate in the election. So as the result was just announced some minutes ago, we are yet to get a reaction from the APC. Of course, you know that we have two factions of APC here. The APC led by Chief Tony Okocha, and another faction led by Chief Emeka Beke. So Emeka Beke faction of APC participated in the election. He cast his vote at his ward in Ikwere local government area. Why the APC led by Tony Okocha didn't participate in the election, and Okocha described the election as a charade.
All right, thank you so much, Victor Dozie, for that update on happenings in the electoral scene in Port Harcourt and rather Rivers State.
Thank you very much.
We're still having joining us on. Okay, so we're going to go to other stories in Akwa Ibom State. Hoodlums have set the Electoral Commission's office in Ibionu, Ibom local government area of the state on fire. Confirming the incident in Uyo, the State Police Public Relations Officer, ASP Tim Funjan, revealed that hoodlums orchestrated the fire, but however said electoral materials remained untouched while the election continued as scheduled. John asserted that the police later ensured that the elections proceeded without a hitch. Over in Benue State, there was confusion in the capital of Makurdi as voters searched endlessly for where to cast their votes in the scheduled local government election. The visit to some polling units at the Nolge office, Ampa Quarters, Wadata Murden Market, North Bank, and Nepa polling units along Gutukwo Road and Barracks Road between 10 a.m. and 1:10 p.m. revealed no sign of electoral materials. In some of the polling units visited, there were no electoral officers or election materials, just as voters claimed they were asked to move to the ward headquarters to exercise their franchise. At a few minutes past 1 p.m., the presiding officer at Nolge polling unit, Nokela Akko, said he resumed at the polling unit as early as 7:30 in the morning, adding that he waited for materials to no avail. Some voters who spoke to our correspondent at Tile Giado and Agantol Gate Ward Collation Centers expressed concern about what they described as the centralization of voting. Jigawa State this Saturday witnessed a smooth and peaceful local government election, with Governor Umar Namadi joining other voters to cast his ballot at the Imam Hassan polling unit, Kafin Hausa ward. The governor, accompanied by his wife, Hadiza Umar Namadi, voted alongside other residents in the election, which saw a higher voter turnout across the 4,322 polling units in the state. Here's the report.
Election materials were distributed on time, with most polling units receiving them by 8 a.m., allowing electoral officers to begin the process promptly. The atmosphere at polling stations was calm, with a significant number of voters turning out to participate in the process. The election saw an impressive turnout of voters across various local governments in the state. From the campaign period through to the election day, the process was conducted in a peaceful and orderly manner. This smooth conduct, according to observers, contributed to what is expected to be a free, fair and credible election. Governor Namadi and his wife voted at their respective polling units within Kafin Hausa local government area.
Well, I think the turnout of the people to come and vote for the candidate of their choice shows that the election is credible. And you know that at least the number of parties, at least about 11 parties, have participated in this election. That shows that this election is credible. And throughout the state, everything is going normal, very peaceful. There is no incidence of any violence in any part of this state. That shows that people are casting their vote peacefully, and that people are happy with what they are doing.
11 political parties contested the election, including major parties such as the People's Democratic Party, New Nigerian People's Party, and the All Progressives Congress. As of the time of filing this report, collation of results had already begun in many polling units across the state.
Still on the council elections, over in Kaduna State, a coalition of candidates from 6 opposition political parties have continued to decry what it called the exorbitant cost of nomination forms and other issues surrounding the screening of candidates by the Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission, KATSEICOM. At a news conference in Kaduna, chairman of the coalition and the candidate from the New Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, Muhammad Hamisu, voiced concerns on behalf of the group. Trust TV Bello Musa completes the report.
Imposition of exorbitant fees, lack of transparency, and stringent qualification requirements are some of the issues raised by the coalition. The leader of the group, Hamisu Mohammed, stated that the coalition is deeply troubled by what they describe as threat to the integrity of the upcoming local government election in Kaduna State. Hamisu warned that if their calls to SECOM are ignored, the coalition will have no choice but to take legal action and organize peaceful protests across the states.
As well, we are calling on the attention of the government and the Kaduna State Independent Electoral Body to use qualified NYSC members for the conduct of the election, not to use individuals that have affiliation to parties. That is in terms of transparency and accountability to the system. And as well, in conclusion, if our requests go unaddressed or unconsidered, we will be left with no option other than to mobilize all opposition candidates and our supporters to stage into a peaceful protest. We are committed to fighting for a fair and democratic process, as we will all not stand as our rights and the rights of our fellow citizens are trampled.
Meanwhile, the Inter-Party Advisory Council in Kaduna during a street march called on SECOM to be unbiased during the election.
That on the 19th of October, the local government elections is now coming very closer. So we want to at least try to sensitize the populace, that is our people, so that they should come out en masse on the 19th of October so that they should cast their votes. They should realize that we want them to understand that the local government elections is the election that will bring them closer to the government. We have been talking to SECOM. What we want them to do during the election, they need to be very free, fair, and credible.
With local government elections scheduled for October 19th, the coalition insists that several unresolved issues are casting doubt on the credibility of the process. It is therefore demanding that these concerns be addressed before Election Day. Bella Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
President Bola Tinubu has conferred the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger GCON title on the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas. Tinubu had in his 64th Independence Anniversary broadcast conferred the Commander of the Federal Republic CFR title on the Speaker and the Deputy Senate President, Barau Jibrin. That move did not go well with the House of Representatives, which demanded a higher honor for Abbas, just like Tinubu conferred the Grand Commander of the Order of the Niger GCON on Senate President Godswill Akpabio and the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN Justice Kudirat Kekereekun. The lawmaker said that both chambers of the National Assembly, Senate and House of Representatives are equal, and the Green Chamber should not even be referred to as a lower chamber. But days after his earlier pronouncement, Tinubu conferred the GCON honor on the House of Representatives Speaker. The Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, said in a statement on Friday evening that Tinubu was persuaded by the House's position and has decided to remedy the historical error and oversight. In the wake of the House of Representatives' demand, the presidency said the Green Chamber has a harmonious working relationship with the Senate as against claims in several quarters. To security matters, bandits have this evening struck Danali village in Damusa local government area of Katsina State, killing one Sani Jadi, Aminu Boda, and abducting a teenager. The two were killed when they were harvesting farm produce on their farms at the outskirts of the community, while the teenager was abducted along the road to Danali village. At the moment, the residents are conducting the burial of the deceased persons this Saturday night amidst sorrow and fear of the unknown. The bandits riding on motorcycles, carrying weapons, escaped with the boy firing gunshots to scare residents and other local security operatives. Dan Ali residents have suffered a series of attacks, resulting to killings, abductions and rustling of animals while trying to evacuate their farm produce in the last few weeks. Dan Musa local government area of Katsina State is among the insecurity frontline areas bedeviled by banditry and other criminal elements. However, the spokesman of Katsina State Police Command, ASP Sadiq Abubakar, while contacted, promised to call back after verifying the information. Still in Katsina, on Friday, bandits killed 4 members of a local security outfit known as Community Security Watch Corps and 2 local vigilantes in Faskari local government area of Katsina State. The The local security operatives were ambushed and killed by the bandits on Yankara-Faskari Road, according to sources. The sources also added that the assailants emerged from the cover of crops on the nearby farms and opened fire on the vehicle conveying the local security operatives, adding that 6 of them died on the spot. The remains of the deceased have since been buried in Faskari according to Islamic injunctions. Many residents who spoke to Trust TV News in Katsina expressed worry over the increasing onslaught on local communities, despite military presence at Faskari Super Camp, which is a few meters away from the scene of the incident. Over in Borno State, the police command has arrested 14 suspects for theft of properties during the Maiduguri flood that ravaged communities in the state. Briefing newsman at the police command in Maiduguri, the police command said 4 of the suspects were apprehended for stealing palliatives designated for flood victims, adding that one suspect is disguised as a flood victim while other suspects were arrested for government property theft. The suspects were paraded with exhibits recovered, including bags of rice, TV sets, air conditioners and computers, among others. The State Police Public Relations Officer Nahum Kenneth Daso said the suspects will be charged to court for prosecution and warned criminals to desist from nefarious activities as the law will be unfriendly when caught.
During a joint patrol in a specific area, severe suspects were arrested around Muna, Gamboru, and 505 area. The suspects were found in dwelling houses which were submerged by the water, in possession of various items such as cattle, mattresses, house belongings, and various property. The command remains steadfast in curbing criminal activities and ensuring public safety, especially during the challenging period. Criminals are further warned to desist from their illegal activities and nefarious acts or face the severe consequences.
We go over to the southeast, where the Abia State Police have confirmed the arrest of 3 suspects in connection with the beheading of a septuagenarian couple in Itumbuz or Bende local government area of the state. The police public relations officer in the state, Maureen Chinaka, disclosed this in a statement on Saturday. Maureen added that in the aftermath of the attack, several properties were carted away from the house. She noted that 3 suspects have been arrested in connection with the crime and are currently under interrogation of the State Criminal Investigation Department, SCID Umahe. The Commissioner of Police, Abia State Commander Nadi Isa, expressed deep concern over the unfortunate incident and appealed to residents of Abia State to remain calm and assured them that the mystery behind this criminal act will be unraveled to ensure prompt dispensation of justice. The need for the military to sustain the recent onslaught on the bandits and other criminal elements kidnapping and killing innocent citizens in northern Nigeria, especially in northwest region, has been stressed by experts and community leaders. The stakeholders say the operations has to some extent contained the heinous attacks on people by bandits across communities in the region. Trustee Bello Musa has more in this report.
Despite several military operations in the past, the activities of bandit and insurgent has disrupted socio-economic activities of people and affected their source of livelihood, as farmers were denied access to their farms, and this affects production of farm produce in the north. However, the recent military operations in the region, which led to the killing of bandit leaders, has brought relief to the people. A security consultant, Muhammad Ali, explains the impact of the killing of bandit leaders on communities.
Like it or leave it, these people, the bandits are carrying heavier armory than our military. Because Sumubu himself, in fact, he's a trans-border supplier of arms and ammunition. He has over 1,500 foot soldiers with him. But now that he is dead, their stronghold has been broken.
Blessing Echo is a humanitarian worker advocating for the plight of internally displaced persons.
So far, the last time we had cases of people that were displaced that came from some communities within Kaduna State was in the month, I think around April. Yes, around towards the end of April. But since then till date, we've not heard of any complaint. We only have the people that have been there for a while. That is those that have been displaced for quite a long time now.
Bala Mukhtar is a victim of Abuja Kaduna train attack. He spent over 7 months in captivity. He says the victory does little changes, but the problem may persist.
But killing of them cannot resolve this problem because there is youngest boys that's in the bush, age of 13, 14, 15, 16 years. Yes, we saw them. They can even take out part of the reform. That is why they are engaging. That is why they are engaging Nigerian army without fear, because most of them are minor. They don't know the gravity of doing that. They don't even know the gravity of doing that. They are taking away from. They have been telling a lot of things that.
Security consultant Muhammad Ali also said troops should also be deployed in strategic locations, especially in Zamfara axis.
Efforts should be done in such a way that troops should be deployed in concentric cycles with a view to not only bringing to an end these recurring acts of banditry and the economy of violence, but through that they will also be able to capture Bello Turji alive, because he has been able to leave his main base, which is in Manawa, Shinkafi local government areas, but he's still within those axes, within operating between Dansado Forest and the Sububu Forest to the west of Dangulbi.
Agricultural and other socio-economic activities that have been crippled due to insecurity will bounce back if the present military operations bring an end to menace in the region. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
Away from security matters, over in Taraba State, the government, through the Ministry of Women Affairs and Child Development, has condemned the alleged inhumane treatment recently inflicted on a young boy, Musa Al-Hassan, by his local teacher. The accused teacher, Ahmadu Hassan, residing in the Sorara area of Jalingo, the state capital, allegedly inflicted various degrees of injuries on the boy, a situation which, as observed, has continued to stir public outrage. In a press statement made available to journalists on Friday in Jalingo, the ministry condemned the act and promised to take legitimate steps to seek justice for the victim. The statement, signed by the Commissioner of Women Affairs and Child Development, Mary Singjan, described the act as a gross violation of human rights and emphasized that such violence against a child would not be tolerated. The statement also confirmed that the victim is currently receiving medical care in Jalingo, with the state government fully committed to ensuring his well-being. She further emphasized that the administration will continue to fight for a future where every child in the state is safe, respected, and empowered to thrive. Over in Lagos State, the Security Task Force has seized no fewer than 28 number plates of cars parked illegally in the government-reserved area GRA axis of Ikeja. The State Commissioner for Water and Environment, Tokunbo Wahab, who disclosed this on X, said the owners of the cars will be charged to court. Wahab said the victims violated the Lagos State traffic regulations. He added that the owners of the defaulting vehicles will all be charged to court. In flood-related matters, we start with Ondo State, where scores of residents have been sacked from their various homes, with houses and vehicles submerged following the flash flood that hit Ondo town in Ondo State capital. Many canals and bridges overflowed, causing several electric posts to fall, raising fears of possible electrocution among displaced residents. The rain started around 3 p.m. on Saturday, while many residents and motorists were moving around with their normal activities. However, no life was lost, but residents who returned met their homes submerged. The heavy downpour caused traffic jams as some of motorists were trapped on the road, struggling to clear the way and move ahead. The flood in Ondo is coming barely a few weeks after the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, advised communities at risk of flooding, especially those residing along waterways, to relocate to safer, higher ground in anticipation of the peak of the rainy season. Over in Kogi State, the government has said no fewer than 70 communities have been submerged in some parts of the state following heavy downpours. The state deputy governor, Joel Salifu, disclosed this on Thursday, shortly after an inspection tour of Edeha community in Kogi local government area of the state. Salifu, who doubles as the state chairman 2024 Kogi State Flood Disaster Response Committee, said the present situation is beyond the capacity of the state government to handle alone. He added that in spite of the state government's proactive measures towards the year's flood, the present situation in Edeha and other communities along the route have gone beyond what the state alone could handle. While he stressed that the number of damaged properties, including farmlands, are yet to be ascertained, the deputy governor expressed joy that so far no life was lost in the affected communities. He added that most of the inhabitants of the affected communities have relocated to the internally displaced persons camps set up by the state government. Devastating flood has ravaged Kebbi State, claiming 29 lives, destroying 321,000 homes and decimating 858,000 farmlands. Thousands are left homeless and a region on the brink of food crisis. Here's the report.
Kebbi State is facing a catastrophic flood crisis, resulting in devastating losses. At least 29 lives have been lost and approximately 321,000 houses destroyed, leaving thousands without shelter. The agricultural sector is the worst impacted, with over 858,000 farmlands left in ruins, threatening food security in the region. According to the Commissioner for Information, Yakubu Ahmed, the flood was triggered by the release of water from the Goronyo Dam and the convergence of waters from River Rima and River Ka. This perfect storm has brought the state to its knees, with 16 out of 21 local government areas affected. The Commissioner appealed to the federal government, corporate organizations and individuals to support the state in mitigating the effects of the flood.
Whatever has been planted has been lost. We're talking about how to empower this people to remain on their farms in order to continue to produce the food we eat here and eat outside the country. So our intention personally is to use the media this time around. Get across to Nigerians and the world at large at this time
In a statement signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor of Kebbi State, Ahmed Idris, stated that the governor on Monday inspected the collapsed bridge along Yauri Koko Road and urged the Federal Ministry of Works to expedite action in fixing the road as it will affect the transportation network of the country, which is significant to their economic development. The people of Kebbi State are going through a difficult time, as some mourn the loss of their loved ones, others face the destruction of their farmlands, and others are left without a roof over their heads. They are calling on the federal government for assistance, as the magnitude of the disaster may be too great for the state to handle alone. From Birinin Kebbi, Cynthia Yongo, reporting for Trust TV.
Now, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum has constituted a 28-man committee to investigate and assess the collapsed Alao Dam that resulted in the Maiduguri flood. The governor, who officiated the inauguration at the State Council chambers, also made a presentation of 20 billion naira to the flood relief committees. Governor Zulum tasked the committee in the course of its 4-week task to come up with recommendations that will avert future flood reoccurrence. He said the state government will rebuild destroyed public structures and support victims of the flood, while funds realized in the basket fund will be disbursed to flood victims, while the other 50% will be used to procure food palliatives. He noted that affected farmers, traders, markets and health facilities will not be left out.
Those that have their homes in Maiduguri but were not affected by the flood. However, their farmlands were severely affected. And we also have to take note that we have markets that were affected by this flooding. However, for now, we shall concentrate on providing support to the victims that their homes were destroyed. And then later on, we shall also look into the possibility of supporting those that have lost their means of livelihood especially in the designated places like markets.
I assure you, we are going to look at the terms of reference, deliberate on it, make our findings and recommendations, and present to you within the stipulated time period. Once again, on behalf of the committee, I would like to thank you for finding out us. Thank you, sir.
You're still on 2 News Hour on Trust TV. Still to come. Nigerian writers lament poor patronage by government school owners over soft skills. More when we return. Please do stay with us.
This is Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. A recap of our top stories. We told you that APP wins 22 out of the 23 chairmanship positions as polls hold without police security. We also informed you that hoodlums set Electoral Commission office ablaze in Akwa Ibom. Over in Taraba State, teachers have called on the federal government to incorporate the views of teachers in the decision-making process of the education sector in the country. They made the call at an event to mark this year's World Teachers' Day in the state. Here's the report.
The National Union of Teachers Secretariat in Taraba State was agog as the teachers from the 16 local government areas converged to commemorate the day. The Taraba State Secretary of the Union, Ali Fanami, harped on the important role teachers play in shaping the society and the need to ensure the participation of teachers in decision-making in education.
This year's celebrations will emphasize the pivotal role the teachers play in shaping the future of education and the urgent need to incorporate their perspectives into educational policy and decision-making processes. Today, we gather not to celebrate our profession, but also to reflect on our role as the bedrock of society, shaping future generations and nurturing the leaders of tomorrow.
The Taraba NUT chairman, Nathan Solomon, said this year's celebration will focus on the role that teachers play in shaping the future of education and the urgent need to incorporate their perspectives into the decision-making process in the sector.
Teachers make a vital contribution to the education and development of our future leaders. Teachers lay the foundation of a civilized and progressive society. Their dedicated work and the pain they encounter to ensure that students turn out to be enlightened citizens deserve high recognition.
The Taraba State Governor, Abu Kefes, represented by the State Commissioner of Education, Augustina Yahaya Godwin, assured that the government will continue to give education priority attention for betterment of the younger generation.
In order to continue to implement and sustain the free education policy in our dear state, we need to take time and think of creative ways that we ourselves can sustain this free education policy. Apart from what the state government through the Ministry of Education is doing to promote to get developmental partners to support the free education policy, we have to find ways of getting the general public to participate.
The theme for 2024 World Teachers' Day is valuing teachers' voices towards a new social contract for education.
Still in the education sector, Nigerian writers are lamenting that what they describe as poor treatment from the State Ministries of Education and the Nigerian Educational Research and Development Council and NERDC. This lack of support has resulted in inadequate representation for Nigerian authors in the national curriculum, highlighting a significant gap in local literary visibility within the education system. Jimmy Azande spoke to some stakeholders in Makurdi for this report.
Paul Abu, the author of The Dance of the Wizards, published in 2021, recently expressed his concern about the challenges faced by publishers after his book was selected for Basic 9, the equivalent of junior secondary school, by the Benue State Ministry of Education.
As one of my texts have been recommended by the Benue State Ministry of Education for the junior secondary school. The book I authored 2021, A Dance of the Wizard, which was shortlisted for Anna Literature Award because of the educational value and the cultural background. So this text has been recommended, but I have challenged as an author because this book has been recommended. It is in the curriculum written in the book. How many schools have this curriculum?
He noted that politics aside, the poor reading culture in the country is also hindering the growth of the literary thread.
You present a quality material out there, but the goal of it, getting it to the final audience, now becomes a challenge now. Because we had processes of registration. You get to register. For example, you register with NETSI, as Nigerian Education Research Development Council. And at the state level, you register with the Ministry of Education.
School owners explain that no institution has the authority to choose materials outside of the ministry's approved list.
Normally, we receive a book list from the Ministry of Education, and then thereafter look at the ones prescribed by them and select the most pressing one if we cannot go for all of them.
Students say that most of the recommended tests for study at the tertiary level are foreign works, which often lack relevance to their experiences and the realities of the Nigerian society.
From the Department of English where I'm studying, you have so many authors like Noam Chomsky, who are actually proponents of so many grammatical theories. And then you come to literature, you talk about things like people like William Shakespeare. You are talking about so many other authors that have actually written so many books on poetry, books on drama and the rest. And many of these books are books that are written by foreign authors.
An anonymous officer from the Benue State Ministry of Education acknowledged that the standard of publications can be questionable, adding that they are working to incorporate more local content in Benue schools. Meanwhile, writers are advising those who write solely for survival to seek alternative sources due to the disheartening conditions in the sector. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
From Benue, we go to Lagos State, where traders at the bustling Maitolf market are voicing their concern over plans by market leaders to demolish their shops and rebuild them for resale at significantly higher prices. Speaking to Trust TV, the traders warned that if the demolition and reconstruction proceed as planned, small and medium-sized businesses will be priced out of the market, leading to a rise in the cost of perishable goods and other food items throughout Lagos. Trust TV's Abbas Alibi has more in this report.
The traders expressed that the decision to demolish the market under the guise of redevelopment is ill-timed, given the current economic challenges facing the country. Aminu Isakiru, a graduate and a trader in perishable goods, revealed that this demolition plan seems aimed at pushing small-scale and medium-sized traders out of the market.
This incoming project with the name remodelization or development of my 12 markets, they came with a means that is not appreciable to we, the market members, especially with the youth, because they said they will remodelize the market, they have to demolish all sections, and apart from that, each member has to pay a sum of 6 million naira to reoccupy a shop, while a sum of 3 million naira to occupy a clamp, while a service fee of 200,000 naira annually, which is not favorable to any Nigerian citizen.
Aminu Kiru also appealed to market leaders and the government to address the pressing issue.
Also, His Excellency Governor of Lagos State, we are calling on our leaders that please, they should leave this project. This is not the right time for the project. They should assume another time. They should reschedule, or they should allow section chairman to initiate this.
Another trader, Muhammad Sani Kangiwa, stated that many of the shops in the market were recently built, but the market management has chosen to demolish them in order to resell at high prices. If you look at the pepper and alobo sections of the market, the shops are all modern and were built not long ago, yet they are all slated for demolition. We are being asked to pay 50,000 naira to purchase a farm and at least 6 million naira for a shop over 25 years with annual payment of 200,000 naira. How can someone dealing in perishable goods survive in this harsh economy? Abubakar Muhammad, another trader, expressed that the project comes at an inopportune time, stating that no reasonable government will initiate a project that exacerbates the suffering of its citizens. This demolition will impact millions, especially the youth who were born and raised here. We know nothing else but this trading. If they take away this opportunity from us, what do they expect us to do? Traders fear that if the project goes ahead, the cost of goods will rise significantly. Abbas Ibrahim Adibi, Trust TV, Lagos.
In the lead up to this year's UN Climate Change Conference set for November in Baku, Azerbaijan, developing nations like Nigeria have been assured that their challenges and needs will take center in the discussions. Here's more in this report.
Ahead of this year's UN Climate Change Conference, also known as the Conference of Parties, COP29, scheduled to take place this November at the capital city of Baku in Azerbaijan, developing countries, including Nigeria, have been assured that their problems and needs will be put to the forefront of discussions. The main subject of COP29 is climate finance, and parties are expected to come together and agree on the next finance goal.
For COP29 in Baku,
COP29 President-designate and Azerbaijan's Minister of Ecology, Mukhtar Babayev, said in an exclusive interview with Trust TV that his country has a great chance to bridge the gap between the developing and developed countries.
In our case, at the COP29, we would like to put the developing countries' problems, vulnerability, and especially the issues of the financial support to the LDCs, especially LDCs, to provide the action agenda. And I think in Baku we have very good opportunity to bring all countries together with international financial institutes, together with MDBs, specifically private sector, to increase our ambitions in financing of the climate agenda.
Yes, there are countries. Also speaking to Trust TV, the climate change high-level champion for COP29, Nigar Arpadarai, said special attention is needed for regions like Africa, where the impact of climate change affects vulnerable communities.
We're speaking about this NCPG and climate finance and all the commitments and NDCs, actually. I think that it needs to take into consideration the urgency and the scale of the problem and the needs of the developing world. Africa is definitely one of the most important continents suffering from the impacts of climate change, and from that sense, I think that advocacy is important. So bringing financial resources, financial architecture to the way when we are supporting the most vulnerable countries, this is the most important thing for us.
Earlier in September, the African Ministerial Conference on the Environment had adopted the African Common Position, highlighting the continent's key priorities for the upcoming global climate event. Top on the agenda is focusing on the ambitious new quantified goal on climate finance for the continent to access a quantum of $1.3 trillion per annum by 2030. Lami Sadiq for Trust TV in Azerbaijan.
Now, the federal government says it has commenced preparation for the evacuation of Nigerians in Lebanon back to Nigeria. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs spokesperson, Ambassador Eche Abuobe, disclosed this in a statement on Saturday morning. Israeli airstrikes in Lebanon have intensified in the past weeks, targeting Hezbollah positions in Beirut and southern Lebanon. The conflict has resulted in over 600 deaths, including Hezbollah's longtime leader Hassan Nasrallah, and displaced hundreds of thousands. Israel has also launched a ground invasion in southern Lebanon, marking a major escalation. The U.S. is pushing for a ceasefire, although the situation remains tense. Over in Tunisia, crowds took to the streets once again to voice their discontent with President Kais Saied as the country's October 6 presidential election draws closer. They accuse Saied of limiting the number of opponents who can run against him. Among the crowd were many young people, some of whom are refusing to vote on Sunday. Tunisia's Electoral Commission, appointed by Saied, has only approved 2 other candidates to run against him. In August, Human Rights Watch said authorities had ruled out several other potential candidates from running in the election through persecution and imprisonment. Since he came to power in 2019, Saied has suspended parliament and pushed through a new constitution to reinforce his own power. His administration has clamped down on perceived opponents, arresting lawyers, journalists, and activists. Stakeholders in Nigeria's football sector have committed to ensuring that the nation records more success in the years ahead. They made the commitment to the Nigerian Football Federation's NFF's Annual General Assembly held in Asaba, the Delta State capital. Jonathan Awanyai has more.
Amid the discussions on policies and the future of the game, one bold proclamation stood out. The Minister of Sports Development, John Onwa Eno, expressed unwavering confidence that Nigeria will conquer Africa and leave the Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco next year.
Everything possible to bring that outcome back to Nigeria. I mean, these are government expectations. While government will try not to intervene in terms of the running of football, government will continue to provide the support that it can give.
But it wasn't just about AFCON. The conversation extended to Nigeria's preparation for the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, with the NFF president emphasizing the nation's resilience despite a rocky start.
Qualifiers that were played against Benin and Rwanda, you saw clearly that there is commitment now, and there is zeal, and there is the confidence by the players to really make the difference. And by the grace of our God, at our own end, we'll do our best to see that we do everything possible to give them whatever they need to support them for us to achieve successes, especially qualifying for AFCON 2025 and the World Cup 2026.
That Uyo Stadium, as beautiful as it is, cannot host a World Cup match. It doesn't have hospitality suites. State government wants to build, they should involve the Nigerian Football Federation or involve FIFA, so we give them the design.
Delegates from all 36 states and the FCT convened to chart a fresh course for Nigeria football as the Delta State governor, represented by his deputy, declared the assembly open. As the assembly concluded, the focus remained clear. Nigeria's football future is bright, with eyes set on both continental and global victories. Jonathan Awanya, Trust TV News, Asaba.
Let's have more sports news with Adeni Ajishafe.
President of the Nigerian Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusau, has announced an initiative aimed at revolutionizing Nigerian football in collaboration with FIFA. The NFF has embarked on a youth talent development designed to scout and nurture the next generation of football players. Speaking on the program, Gusau revealed that this federation have taken significant steps towards implementing the FIFA-backed project through rigorous scouting effort. The NFF identifies 40 promising young footballers below the age of 15 who will now be placed into a structured training program. In a departure from the previous norm, the NFF plans to reduce its dependency on last-minute camps for selecting under-17 players. Instead, the federation will develop these players from a young age, ensuring they receive proper training and guidance. The new initiative marks a significant step in Nigeria's quest to develop football talent, and with FIFA support, the NFF is optimistic about the development of football in Nigeria. And still on football, the Nigerian Football Federation NFF Congress has approved a sum of 17.6 billion naira as 2025 budget proposal. The budget approved at the annual General Assembly of the NFF in Asaba, Delta State. The approval of the budget proposal stand among the decisions taken by the Congress during the AGA, where its financial statement for the year 2023 was also approved. Meanwhile, the federal government has urged the Nigerian Football Federation to be resilient and determined in ensuring the Super Eagles qualify for 2026 FIFA World Cup. Minister of Sport Development, Senator John Eno, said these targets are the 2024 Annual General Assembly of the NFF. Eno emphasized that Nigerians expect nothing less than the World Cup ticket from the Super Eagles, along with bringing home the AFCON trophy from Morocco 2025. He also urged the Federation to resolve a lingering crisis over the board Secretary General tenure and appoint a deserving technical advisor for the men's senior national team. The minister commended the leadership style of the Federation and reaffirmed President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's unwavering commitment to supporting the Federation's activities, while highlighting football's significant role in uniting the nation and advised the football family to remain united, avoiding sentiment and personal interest that could cause discord. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
And that concludes News Hour tonight. For more of our news programs and documentaries, please do want to follow us on our social media platforms and on our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Nwafor. On behalf of the news production team, thank you for joining us today.
Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.